Introduce our product Odoo, which is a open source technology based ERP solution. The solution is built in two technology, that is Postgres SQL as the backend database, and Python as the front end development platform. Now, talking about the product Odoo, it is there in the market for the last 10 years, and it is widely used by a lot of users around the world. Currently, we have approximately 5 million users who's using the product around the globe. Now, if you would like to get more details about the Odoo as a product, you can always go to this Odoo.com website, and here you can see all these details about what we stand as a product and the number of users and all those details there. So the purpose of this video is to demonstrate certain capabilities on Odoo. So we would not be spending too much time on the presentation part of the Odoo, rather we will directly get into the Odoo as a product, as a demonstration. Now this video we would like to put it as three different pieces. The first piece would be talking about certain facilitations inside the Odoo and sales, and the second video would be talking about purchase and inventory, and the last module would be accounts. So that's how we're going to categorize this video. Each video session would be roughly around 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and we'll straight away get into the demonstration part of it. So this is a demo unit which we have set it up for you, and in this case, if you see that every user would be facilitated with a username and a password. So what each user can do here is whenever they would like to log in and start doing their operation, they can put in their username, their password, and they can click on the login button, which they will be able to see a screen similar to this one, where they can do a lot of settings and a lot of you know access to the functionalities. Now we call this as a landing page. Now, if you look at this landing page, on the left side, you would be able to see all the modules, what you have there. And on the right side, you have the configuration part of it or the setup part of it. Now, at any point of time you wanted to get the documentation, you can click on the documentation and what version are you using. So you can click on that specific version, which will take you to that, documentations there. So you will be able to get all the support at any point of time. Now, there are certain languages which it is available. English is one of the common language, and it is widely available in that language as well. The second major thing what you would be doing on the preferences part of it is like you would be setting up what is your time zone which you are actually operating from, and you can also set it up what language would you like to work on to the product. So it is supporting around 100 languages when it comes to Odoo, and we have just enabled English and Arabic at this point of time. So if you want to change the language, all you need to do here is come back and change the language to the language which you are comfortable with. And the moment you click onto it, it will convert the whole application into an Arabic platform. So right now you can see that the entire product is in Arabic, and whatever you click onto it, it will be completely in Arabic. So this is how easy it is to set up a language for each individual. And let's say that in a company you have 5 people, wherein 2 people is using Arabic, and another 3 people are using English. You could still go ahead and set up each person to have their own preferred languages to use onto it. Now, for the presentation purpose, let me just switch the language to English, and then we'll continue with the presentation. So the first thing what we see here on the screen here is the landing page, and this is how the landing page would look like. So the landing page is having certain information. There is something called as an inbox. You have a general queue, then you have something like private queue where you can communicate. So let me just explain you what is this inbox. So let's say that somebody have assigned you or send you a message to you within your organization. You would be able to see that message here. For example, if I would want to send a message to probably like Autobot is a user, and I'm just telling hi, hello. So whenever Odobot logs in, he would be able to see an inbox message stating that there is a message assigned for you. Now, you have this general tab which talks about the functionalities which is available for all the users. So typically this is used for the communication purpose for any company rules and regulations or HR facilities. All these kind of things you can actually communicate in the general tab. So this is for all the users. Now, similarly, if you would love to have, a specific message to one person, so all the employees would be listed out here. So I can actually send an individual message. I have only two users. One is admin, another one is Odo. So when I have more users, basically what it will do here is it will show all the users on the left side, and I would be able to send a direct message to that person. Now, the last thing is like the organization might be divided into different departments. Now, in each department, you might be having three or four people who's working onto that functionality. So, in such cases, you can create private chat groups like sales, and you can add those people whoever needs to be a part of it, so that it is easy to communicate within the team members. So these are the different ways how you can communicate. Now, on all of this one, you can actually use your typing. You can also use attachments by clicking on this button, where you would be able to get all the attachment functionalities. You can also use certain, emojis if in case you really require to send your, emojis as an emotional communication. Even that can be utilized. So this is whole about what a Discuss platform is going to help you with. There is something additional apart from the Discuss, that is notes module. So this is for the purpose of keeping some notes. So let's say that when you're talking to somebody on a telephone or something like that, you want to keep notes on what is happening. So you can do all those kind of notes, and you can save that note. And if it is a to do where you need to do it as an operation, you can mark it as a to do. And if you want a calendar or a reminder onto it, you can click on this cloak button, and you can schedule an activity whether you need it, what time you need it, and all those kind of actions can be done and kept as a schedule. I'm not getting in detail about it because that is not our scope part of it. We will be straight away going into the sales module. So this is the sales module when it comes to Odoo. And when you look at the sales module, you can see all the functionalities on the right side of it. You can also see a search bar and some views out here. So just below this search bar, you can see these views. Now that is the way different ways that you can see the data. So you currently have 5 quotations inside this system. Now you can click on this box type or the Kaban view. So Kaban view will tell you that in which company, what time, and what is the status of these many items there. You could also go to the calendar view, so it will tell you that what time it was actually triggered. This is really important when it comes to those companies who's focusing based on time and different actions. Then there is something called as a pivot view, which we'll discuss in detail later. And finally, you have a graphical view. So graphical view will help you to get the data in a graphical format. And finally, you also have, activities. So if there is any meetings or something like that scheduled against that functionality, it will be shown here. So first thing, what we're going to do here is we will focus only a couple of these views here. The first view which we're going to focus here is something called as a pivot view. A pivot view is nothing else but it's a view which help you to get the data, just like your Excel pivot functionality. So let's assume the case that I wanted to get all the sales which is done by the name of customer. So what I can do here is I can come back and I can click on the customer here. So when I click on the customer, it is telling that I have made sales for two customers. One is Vistras and another one is Hexa BTS. And it is telling the total sales value is 31,000, and the 16 and 14 is the values for each of this item. Now you could actually do this by yesterday only. So and when you put that filter, you can see that it is actually reducing that value. So you can use this time, you can use these filters here which allows you to filter the data what exactly you require. Now, I also would like to see that how exactly that orders was confirmed. I want to say it by date. So it is telling you that on 12th you had 5,000 sale by Vistas, on 13th you have 6,000, and on 18th you have 12,000. So it gives you all those values by that perspective, and it is easy for you to understand how the sales has been happening on your system. Now, what I'm going to look into here is, if in case I want to have this data exported into an Excel format, I can just click on this button, which will extract the data into an Excel format, and I would be able to share it or do my own, external reporting activities or whatever you would like to do it on the system. Let the Excel turn on. Meanwhile, we'll go into the graphical view. So this is a graphical view of it. So in the graphical view, you can see that this is the total figure. You keep your mouse, it will be showing that figure. Now, we have only two customers created for the demo purpose. Once you have too many customers, it will be showing you the graph in a much different way. You can actually look at the total values, or I can look for the total tax, or I can look at the margin wise. What is the margin did I earn out of it? So I can see that from this company I had a margin of around 5,000, and this is around 2,000 something. So I can even look into that by the margin standpoint, or number of sales. So here it is looking at number of sales, and it is telling that you have 3 sales for this customer. You can see the same reports in different views. This is bar chart, this is line chart. Unfortunately, we don't have too many data there. And you also can see it in the pie chart format, and you would be able to get all these reports however you would like to see it. So that is the different views what you have inside the system. Now let's get into the functionalities. So if you look into this quotation screen, you can see that all the quotations which is currently inside the system. Now, what you could do here is, you could, I'm sorry, my Excel is opening after a very long time for the first time. So I think Excel is taking a little time there. Meanwhile, let me continue with the demo. So if you go to each of these tabs, you would be able to see certain functionalities. This configuration is only for the administrator, for him to set up how exactly all these functions needs to be working. Now, if you go to the quotations, you will be able to see the quotations here. You can see that there is two quotations, and you can see those quotations in the screen. Now, apart from that, if you go to orders, you would be able to see all the orders what you have there. So there is three orders, and there is two quotations there. And if you come down, you can see that the sales team. Now you can set up different teams for your sales. So right now there is no team which is set it up. Now this assists you to look into the way how each team is performing. How many quotations do you have? How many sales orders does that sales team is having? And you can also set some parameters. What is your invoicing target? Or you can set up different kind of policies, and you can tell them that these are all the different things which I'm going to look at it. So you can have your own graph based on these values, which will help you to review the data in a much better way. So as a step one, what we're going to do here is we'll create a new customer, and we will try to create a quotation against the customer, and then we'll see how the process works. So it is pretty straightforward. You have to go to the orders, customers, and when you go to the customers window, you can see the screen similar to this. You could always switch it back to this grid view if you are comfortable with this view. And you can start by clicking on the create button. And it is asking what type of a customer it is, whether this customer is an individual customer or whether this customer is a company. So if it is a company, I can just click on this company. Then what I can do here is I can just fill in the details inside it. So let's say that I'm just writing a name here. So I'm just putting that Apple Inc. And it is automatically looking into the Google and finding out if there is any Apple companies which you want to select it out of it. If you don't want it, you can leave it as it is, and you can start by typing what is the location. So I'm just telling 213 floor second 213 room office second floor, and I'm putting it as Mustafa state. I'm selecting it as United Arab Emirates and selecting it as Abu Dhabi. Now I can fill all this information if I want to. I'm not filling all those contents. I can also fill the details about the tax number of the company. So you can fill in their tax number. Now I can save it, which basically creates a customer. Now, you might even have scenarios that the customer would be having two or three point of contact. For example, there is a Muhammad who is working in that company who is my contact there. So what I can do here is I can put his detail here. I can tell that it is Mr. Muhammad and he is a sales manager, and I can put his number. Now, it is always good to have this information so that whenever you come back, you can see that Muhammad's detail is also available for you to review at any point of time. Now, similar to this one, you can have internal notes, whatever you would like to have on a sales order or a purchase order or a picking. So let's say that if you want to have some kind of a notification, some customers are really bad on payment, but you don't want to, forget in filling out this detail. In such cases, what you could do here is you could actually go back and put a message here. So all the sales orders will be having this internal note for them. So you can do that kind of thing. Now, you can have a different kind of printouts for each, different format of printout for each customers. We'll talk about it, a bit later. So I created a simple customer here. Now what I'm going to do here is I need to give a quotation to that customer. So I can click on the quotations here and click on the create button. So when I click on the create button, it will start with a screen which is a customer screen. I can select what is the customer whom I'm going to give this quotation. Now in the system, while setting up the system, I've told that the validity of the quotation is for 30 days. So it automatically counts 30 days here. Now I can leave the rest of the things except the payment terms. I can tell what payment terms do I have for this customer. So I'm just telling that I have immediate payment terms because I need immediately 60% or 40% of the payment. I also can fill in what is my default, sales terms and conditions. I can put it out here, which will be printed in the document. Now this is automatically coming here because we have told that this is the default command. In case if you want a different one, you can always remove it and add your one, whatever you would like to have that. So let's add some products here. So I wanted to have Essandra Basin. I actually took these names from your website. I was just trying to correlate with the products what you are actually trying to sell. So what I did here is I've selected one Essandra and one Connect Air product, and I'm telling that I need 10 units of each items. So there you go. And what it is going to do here is it is going to do the pricing details from the price list which is there in the system. Now you could have multiple price lists in the system, wherein you can tell that for a specific customer called as Apple Inc, your price is 5% higher or a specific value. But if it is a different customer, it's a different value. So you can do all these kind of things however you would like to have it. Now let's say that I am actually offering these two products to them. At the same time, I want to tell them that I have another one more product. If you're interested, you just want to give it as an alternative option to them. So you can tell that I have a different basin called as tonic basin. I'm sorry, I'm not really sure of these names, but I'm just trying to correlate it. So I'm just telling that if you're going for this product, I can give you a probably 10% discount. So I'm just telling that this is like offering them some alternative products as well. So if you come down here, this is the two items which are actually offering them. This is the optional products. If you don't want it, you don't have to give it. So once you're done with this information, you can save it. And once you save it, what it'll do here is it'll create a quotation with all those details, and it'll you can see that the status is quotation, and you can see that this is the number of the quotation. Now once everything is done, if you want to print out the quotation, you can click on the print out button, which will actually print the quotation for you. And once that quotation is printed, it would be looking similar to this. Now, this color change and stuff like that, we can do it ourselves. We can show you how you can do it. So if you look at it, you can see that the price is so and so, this is the total value, and these are the images of the product, what you're going to sell. And scrolling down, you can see that, you know what, we have some other suggestions for you. These are the suggested products. These products, the actual price is 450. I'm giving you a 10% discount, and you can take it for 405. So you would be able to give this kind of a quotation back to the customer. Now, uh, it is not always that you want to print it, but rather you want to send it directly to the customer. So if you want to send it directly, you can click by send by email button, which it will create the same PDF file, and it'll tell that you don't have an email address for this customer. So I'm just giving that info at apple.com. So if the email address is already there, then it'll come up with a screen similar to this, telling that here is a quotation, this is the amount of that product. If you have any queries, feel free to contact us. Now, this message can be rewritten. You can tell us that how exactly you would want this message. You can have some beautiful wordings and everything, and you can tell us, and we will put it across to you in the same format. So if you click on the send button, it will directly send the message with the quotation to the customer. So that will be much more easier for you to send it across to the customer. Now, when you send a quotation, typically what happens here is they might do some negotiations. They might come back and tell that, I'm interested, but I need another 2% or 3% of discount, or whatever the values which they would be expecting. So you can come down, and you can tell that, okay, I'm ready to give you this many percentage of discount, or this is what I can do the best. So I can save it, and I might need to again send them the updated quotation. So in that case, you can again print it, and you can see that print out, send it across to them either by the send by email button, or you can send it by attaching into the email. Now this time, if you notice it, initially when the discount was zero, this layer was not there, but when the discount is there, it automatically pops up with the discount percentage, how much are you giving it, and you can send it to the client. So when you send it to the client as a next step, typically what happens here is the client would come back and tell that we are actually interested in this one. Let's go ahead and confirm it. So they will send you a purchase order, which means that your sales is confirmed. So you can actually click on the confirm button, which actually completes the sales process. And along with that, if in case you want to have an attachment of the PO which they have sent it across to you, you can click on this attach button, and you would be able to attach the document. So you can scan, you can attach the document inside the screen, so that attachment will also be inside the screen. Now, once the sales is confirmed, if you go back to the quotation screen, you will not be able to see that sales quotation what you have created. The reason is like that has changed its status from a quotation status to a sales order status. So if you go to the orders, there you could see that orders, and you can see that there are all the clients here. And if you look at the invoicing status, you can see that there is something which is fully invoiced, means that you have already invoiced those deals and you've completed it. Now this is to invoice, means it is not yet completed. There is some functionalities pending there. So some companies do deliver the products first. In that case, you have the deliver button here. Some companies do create invoice first. So what will happen here is, whenever you come to the invoicing orders to invoice button here, you would be able to see all the orders which is not invoiced, which is awaiting for invoice. So here, what I can do here is I can generate an invoice. Let's say that I'm actually going for a advance payment of 60%. So if you want an advance payment, you can click on the create invoice and I can tell that down payment and what percentage am I wanted to get as advance. I can click on this create. So when I click on this create, basically what happens here is it creates an invoice and you can see that there is an invoice created. Now that's all the salesperson have to do it. That invoice is not confirmed. The invoice is awaiting for the accountant to review it and confirm it because invoice generation onwards, invoice generation, receiving the payments is accountant's job. So typically, what happens here is when you are done with this much activity, it is actually telling you that you have actually completed the first part of the sales, that is like invoicing the product. Now, when an accountant comes in, accountant would be going directly to their accounting module. So when they go to the accounting module, they would be able to see that there is customer invoices, and under customer invoices all the invoices which is awaiting for validation will be seen in a slight blue color. So you can see that the one which we created for the Apple Inc is awaiting, and it is telling that it's on the draft stage. So accountant can open this one and he can refer to what it is all about. So you can see that, oh yeah, this is 60% of down payment, and all he need to do here is validate it. So upon the validation, what happens here is the products will be ready to deliver, and accountant can follow up with the client with respect to their due date and the payments because the invoicing is completed. And whenever it is ready to deliver the products can be delivered the products can be delivered by going into the delivery order button, which will be done by those people who have the delivery access. I'm just trying to complete the process, and then we will talk in detail about the inventory and sales separately. So you can see that all the products is here. It is telling that are you receiving all the products as you wanted? Yes, I'm receiving everything. It is all good. Now, if I come back to my sales, what I can see here is the same sales order which I created. I can see that the total products quantity ordered is 10 and 10, delivered is 10 and 10, and you can see that you have an advance payment of 2500 which you have received. So you haven't received the full payment till now. So now that I've delivered the product, I've received my first payment. I want to, invoice the last payment. I can click on the create invoice. This time, the system automatically selects invoiceable line item, which it is identifying that there is a down payment which has happened. So it is trying to negate the down payment, which the actual invoice. And all you need to do here is click on the create invoice. And when you click on the create invoice, it will create the second invoice, which would be against that order. So let's just give it a minute. It's on a test environment, so that's why. You can see that now that there is a second invoice generated, and you can see that second invoice just by clicking on it. And if you look at the second invoice, it is actually telling you that the total cost is 1900 and 2300, and you have received a down payment of 2520, and the total value is 2300 is what you need to pay now. So you can validate it and receive the payment and continue with the process. So this is as simple as it is to manage a sales process. Now, a couple of things which we want to show you here is we have different ways of looking at the templates. So, for example, when you printed this document was looking similar to uh, this format, and we call this as a contemporary template. So you can see this format here. Now, if in case your organization wants to have a different format, we have 6 formats already inside our system. So let me just try to show you a couple of the designs what we have, and you can choose any one of that which you feel is more comfortable. So this is contemporary. Now what you could do here is you can go for advanced. And I can try to see how exactly the advanced would look like. So like that, you can look into the different formats and you can choose a format which is convenient for you. So this is a much more orthodox or old type of invoice. You can see that the design is completely different, and you also have the provision of changing the colors just by selecting what color you wanted for customer's name, your company name, address. Do you want it bold? Do you want the product image to be shown? If you don't want to be shown, you can uncheck it. So you can do all these kind of things, and you can customize your own template for that. So just to avoid long videos, we would love to conclude the sales module with this operation here. And further to this, if you have any questions on the sales module, feel free to let us know. And I'm not getting in detail about any other functionalities here, but there is a lot of functionalities. If there is anything specific that you would like to see, do let us know. We can create short videos for that as well. The next video we will talk about the purchase and inventory part of it. Thank you.